to the Change Leader Insights podcast. My name is Jessica Crow. I am your host, and it is January 2025. This is the first episode of the year. And if this is your first time tuning into the show, welcome. And if you've been listening to the show for the past however long you've been a listener, thank you for coming back. Wanted to share a little bit about me, about Apogy, about Change Leader Insights, and then talk about the guest lineup for this year. I am so excited. We've got a great calendar of content and wonderful interviews from some pretty fantastic people coming your way. But first, a little bit about me. So I started this show back in 2022, so 3 years ago. And I did so because I wanted to spread the word, get the word out there that change management is an important practice. It's an important capability for organizations to develop. And I did so with the intention of helping leaders really think about the impact that they're having on the people that they work with, that they execute the strategy of the organization through, and with the hope of creating environments where both people and change can thrive. I left my company that I'd been working for before starting Apogy back in 2019, and I had actually been responsible for leading and guiding people and teams and the organization through some pretty big changes. But I felt like a bit of a fraud because I was experiencing change fatigue and burnout myself, and I didn't have the mindset, I didn't have the skills to really successfully navigate everything I was dealing with, both at work and at home, all of the normal life stuff. But when you put it all together, it can be pretty exhausting. And so I ended up leaving the organization. And from that, with research and experience and a lot of reflection and conversations, I created a new way of working and leading through Apogy's change management training, coaching, and consulting approach. And then the Change Leader Insights podcast was my way to share even more ideas, perspectives, and approaches on how to lead people and teams through change, because I know that my way is not the only way to lead people through change. And it's almost like, diet and exercise. You really have to find what's going to fit and work for you consistently over the long term. And so I wanted to be able to share the stories and the information from other experts in this space, because my hope is that something sticks with you, resonates, that you decide to put it into practice, and you can have a positive impact on the people that you work with and the way that change gets implemented in your organization. So really, Change Leader Insights is my way of kind of sharing the collective wealth and wisdom with the world. And I really am hopeful that, we start to see a shift in how, people experience change, lead change, are changed in their places of work. So that's where that came from. I'm excited to talk to you today too about the guests that are coming on the show this year. So before that, though, 2024, we had 2 episodes airing a month. That will continue in 2025. Had some incredible speakers and guest interviewees. I've had people who have written books about various topics related to change and leadership and ways to approach organizational design and effectiveness. And I've had people who are in the role of change leader or have been change management practitioners or consultants. I've had leadership experts and coaches on the show, and we'll have more of that in 2025 because sometimes we have to hear similar messages said a different way in order for that message to resonate. So that's one of the reasons. But also there's a lot of really great ideas out there that, again, are on the same topic, but it's important to share the different ways of thinking around that topic. We're also going to have a few guests on this year, which will be new, talking about AI. So AI is something that, in 2024, I think we're all trying to figure out how to safely use in an organization, how we can leverage it. There were a lot of lawsuits last year related to how AI has become the prediction and, the content platform and model that it is, which was interesting to observe, kind of a natural unfolding of how, evolution in technology, I suppose. But it'll be interesting to see where it goes this year and in the years ahead. I'm personally excited because I think it'll help make our jobs whether we're change management leaders or we're people project change leaders, easier, more efficient. We'll have access to resources and information and data that maybe we didn't have access to in the same ways. We'll be able to do our jobs more quickly, but not without sacrificing, so to speak, the quality. And what I mean by that is we will be able to enter in a prompt and get a response or recommendation or a template, when in the past we might have to search multiple sources to get the information or create something from scratch. And that takes a lot of time. What it won't replace is our very human skills, our leadership skills, our soft skills, which is why a lot of the conversation will orient around, leadership development and leadership skills. But I do see AI as continuing to disrupt and be a really valuable tool for organizations and change leaders. And I look forward to that. We'll also have people on that talk about self-leadership. So, I mentioned change fatigue and burnout earlier, and I want to continue to share the stories and the insights of people who are further down the path in terms of how to take care of yourself so you can take care of others, so you can care for the people side of change. So I'll be bringing those individuals on. And then I also want to, looking at my notes every time I look down, I want to bring on people that are experts in ethics. And the reason for this is because I believe that we need more conversation around ethical change decisions, ethical change leadership. A lot of decisions happen in an organization. They're motivated by profit and revenue and cost savings, growth, those shareholder interests, right? Those are the reasons that leaders make decisions. And that's great. That's how it should be. And at the same time, how might the decision-making evolve, improve, change if we thought about the idea of ethics, or not thought about the idea, if we leveraged and understood and incorporated ethical decision-making. Now, what I mean by that is, I was thinking about this in the context of the Hippocratic Oath in medicine, which is first do no harm. And so that's a principle, a guiding way of, operating as a physician or a clinician, right? That is front and center when you make decisions that impact your patients, their lives, how they, their health outcomes. What if there was something similar for individuals who were making decisions on which changes to invest in and why, and the implications that it could have on the people that are going to be asked to use or do something differently as it relates to that change? And that's a very thought-provoking, for me, in my mind at least, conversation that I want to have with people in 2025. And I'll continue to explore this on my own too. I've been thinking about this for a couple of years, if I'm totally honest, which might seem odd that I've never done anything with it. But I'm talking about it now. So this counts. But it's really influenced by my own experience with my firm, with leading and implementing and making decisions about change in organizations. It's influenced by my exploration of mindfulness practices, yoga philosophy, having had people on that are talking about, ESG and other areas of the business that are guided by ethical principles and standards. And so I think the time is right. I think the time is right to start talking about this in a more meaningful way. So again, for 2025, we're going to be getting into leadership, leading others, self-leadership, taking care of yourself, preventing change fatigue and burnout, change management, change leadership, how to lead people through leveraging neuroscience and behavioral sciences and AI, how that's going to impact how we do what we do in the organizations that we work for, and then that ethical component as well. So I'm excited. This is going to be a great year. This is our third, I guess we're moving into our fourth year of Change Leader Insights. So an invitation to all those who are watching and listening is, if you have someone or yourself and you think you'd be a great guest, or somebody who'd be a great guest on the show, then please send them my way. I would love to hear from you, from them, to consider them coming on the show, see if they're a good fit for the topics that we cover and for the people that are tuning and listening in. You can reach me at info@apogy, APOGY.biz. That's the best way to get in touch. And I will absolutely consider the recommendation. So please do send them my way. And if there are topics that you would like to have me cover, even if you don't have a person in mind to speak to it, please let me know. And I would love to be able to address and invite people on who, again, are further down the path than me if it's not something that I can speak to. And even if I can speak to it, I know my voice isn't the only one that should be in the room. So would love to have more perspectives, contradictory perspectives, ones that I agree with. It doesn't really matter. I think the most important thing is that we're having these conversations. We're creating awareness for the importance of being good stewards of change in our workplaces. And we understand and appreciate how change impacts people, our brains, our stress levels, our well-being, and we're trying to do the right thing, trying to do as little harm through our change decisions and leadership. So thank you for tuning in. I look forward to just continued great conversations this year. And I wish all of you success as you think about what you hear and what you want to implement in your own life and leadership. And if you're finding success with some of the insights that you're putting into practice, I would love to hear that too. And I'll share that with the guests that come on that have, shared their wisdom with us. So thank you again and make it a great year. All right, take care.